Hello and welcome to Matt Loves Eurovision. It's my Eurovision 2026 Top 35 countdown. It's place number 29, Switzerland, Veronica Fusaro, Alice. Please do click on the subscribe button, or ring that notification bell, and like, share and comment below. Now we've entered a section of my countdown where the songs are quite interchangeable in terms of position, probably between here at 29 and up to perhaps all the way up to 24. It's a set of songs that I quite enjoy, but not so much that I have really strong feelings about them, or indeed perhaps between them. So it's a bit of a sort of a toss-up, kind of how they've landed in this particular order. And here at 29, it is last year's hosts, Switzerland. Now, I really liked their entry last year, Voyage by Zoe Me, and so did the juries. They really liked it, but not the general public, as shockingly, Voyage got nul point from the general public. So can Swiss songwriter Veronica Fusaro find more balance between the juries and the audience at home? Now, Veronica is Swiss with an Italian father, hence the surname, and she first kind of came to prominence, or certainly was heard of, back in 2014, where she entered The Voice in Switzerland. I swear The Voice must account for the various national versions of The Voice must account for a good proportion of Eurovision artists these days, although she didn't actually win The Voice, she got through to the knockout stages. It was quite a few years later, 2019, that she got more noticed with the release of a single that hit the Swiss charts called Roller Coaster. And she subsequently performed at various musical festivals, including Glastonbury. She released her first album in 2023, and recently she launched her second album back in October last year. And it is from that album that her Eurovision song Alice is drawn from, albeit a Eurovision version of it. So you didn't quite hear the version of it back in October. She's done something particular for it. Now, Alice is kind of an alternative pop indie rock song. It has a bit of a distinct musical progression through the song, which kind of suits the theme or the story of the song. It's quite a serious subject matter. It's being on the theme of physical and psychological abuse and the erosion of personal boundaries. It's a theme that we have had at Eurovision before in a number of times. The eponymous Alice of the song refers to a woman who doesn't get a chance to speak and becomes the object of the other person. Now, Veronica, she's a singer-songwriter, so not surprising. She is a co-writer of the song, and she co-wrote this with a British songwriter and producer, Charlotte McLean. And Charlotte McLean is also the producer of this song. In terms of my own feelings about it, I appreciate its authenticity, and obviously it is important, the meaning, the story behind the song, and it's an important message. It's not the sort of genre, in terms of the type of music, that I tend to gravitate to, but I don't dislike it, and I will quite happily listen to it. My gut feeling was, and perhaps still is, that this is more of a jury song in terms of where its points are going to come, rather than a public vote song. And that has been the case for most of Switzerland's last few entries. They've been more jury than televote songs. However, if we look at our friend the Eurovision scoreboard, that does throw up a bit of surprise in that actually seems to be doing pretty okay. It's well inside the top 20. But a bit like Serbia, which was the previous entry in my countdown, when you just look at the semi-final only part of the scoreboard, there we find Veronica is sitting just outside the qualification slots. Now, of course, the scoreboard is just a snapshot of a particular demographic at this time, not necessarily what will happen in the contest. But I do think it kind of lends to the fact that it is going to be quite hard to call whether this will qualify or not. It is a very competitive semi-final. But on the other side, although Veronica's been drawn in the first half, which is not so good normally, but the running order is put her quite near the end of that first half, in the sort of 7th place, and that tends to be a bit of a better place to have slightly better qualification chances. Also, really big factor is the return of the juries in the semis. I think that will really help this song. But I do think that the depth of quality that you've got in this semi-final is going to be a challenge and does make this difficult to call. And that's even for mighty Switzerland, who really have been a powerhouse at Eurovision in the past few years. They've qualified every year, since 2019, including 2019. They've obviously had that win with Nemo. And on top of that, they had 3 other top 10 results in that time, including, despite the nil point on the televote, Zoe May did finish 10th in the top 10 last year. So all to play for, but it'll be interesting to see whether this can keep up Switzerland's record. As always, do let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.